Hey guys, how's it going? It's Blepner here with another fun team for you guys. If you guys don't know, myself and Evan 777713 are attempting a challenge this season where we are both going to be using the teams that are showcased by a content creator uh, every single time that we battle. So basically, this week we chose Purple Kyogre as our content creator, and every single day we are going to check what YouTube videos Purple Kyogre has uploaded and use the team that Purple Kyogre has showcased for that day or that week. Whenever someone uploads a video, we use that team. We are doing Purple Kyogre this week. We are going to be switching out the content creator every week. But guys, I kind of messed up. The team that was showcased by Purple Kyogre actually had Pidgeot in the back instead of Noctowl. I used Noctowl, but it's okay. You guys know that there have been so many Pidgeots, so many Noctowls in the meta right now. It's hard to keep them straight. Evan Sevens and I are playing pretty fast and loose with this, so I allowed myself this little bit of slack. But the team turned out really great. Excadrill is such an underrated pick in the Great League Remix Cup. And obviously, with the wing attack boost, we are seeing a lot more Pelipers, a lot more Noctowls, which Excadrill can easily take care of, and I do have in the back. Because of the fact that they're just so powerful, I do think that this team is top meta. I did not face any teams that were too strong against it. But I had a few battles that I really wanted to highlight today just to show how powerful this team can be. I did power up my Excadrill just for today to show this team, and it did really well. So let's see how these battles go. So first off, we have Excadrill into Machamp. This is a terrible lead, but we go immediately into Pelipper. They go into their Kafka Regis. This is not a hard counter to Pelipper. Pelipper wins CMP. I am hoping that they no-shield this because Kafka Regis is very bulky. I'm thinking that they're going to no-shield because they know they can tank it. But they shield, so we have a shield advantage now, which is not a terrible situation. Obviously, it would have been better if we went straight Weather Ball, but we're just going to let that go because of the fact that Excadrill with a shield advantage can do so well in this meta. So a drill run will basically one-shot the Machamp if they choose to come in. I do have to unfortunately shield here though, so we're going back to even shields, but you're going to see that they don't quite make it to a second move here after throwing the Shadow Ball. I am going to be able to farm them all the way down. Look how much those mud shots do. Absolutely insane amounts of damage. So they come in with the Machamp, and even this one single counter is going to do so much damage to my Excadrill. I have to switch out. You see, they got in two counters there. I switch out into my Noctowl, and they have a Mandibuzz in the back. And so Mandibuzz is definitely not a very good counter to Noctowl. Mandibuzz is bulky, but Noctowl is also very bulky. So these two are basically evenly matched, I would say. The wing attack buff did give Noctowl a little bit of an edge in this matchup, in my opinion. And in addition to that, I also have a shield. So we are looking okay. The one problem is that obviously the Machamp can do a lot of damage with those neutral counters, with those neutral cross shots. Noctowl's normal flying typing means that it takes neutral damage from fighting type moves. So what I need to do is I need to catch a move here, and I do indeed catch a move onto the Excadrill. I was assuming that they would throw as soon as possible after they switch, and they did indeed throw as soon as they switched. So I managed to just barely catch that move on my Excadrill. By the skin of my teeth, I throw the Sky Attack, and now I know that I can reach this next Sky Attack before the Mandibuzz reaches a move, and that is a good game. This is just showing how Excadrill can overcome a rough lead, how this team in general really can overcome a rough lead. And the wing attacks in the back, just too powerful of a move for the opponent to overcome. Next up, we have Excadrill into Vigoroth. This is a terrible lead for us. Obviously, the counters are going to be doing so much damage. So we come into Pelipper. And Pelipper uh, is met with Steelix. Thankfully, this is not a Thunderfang Steelix. I have been seeing a few Thunderfang Steelixes recently, but this one has Dragon Tail. And so I'm able to reach these two Weather Balls before they even reach a move, and they actually feel compelled to shield the second Weather Ball, even though they could have survived it. So I'm in a good situation here. I guess that they thought I could wing attack them down if they no shielded that Weather Ball. Decided to call the Thunder Fang there. Thankfully, it's not a crunch. It is just a Psychic Fang. It's not a Thunder Fang. Sorry. And then I throw the Weather Ball, and they double shield. So the reason why I actually threw that Weather Ball at an inconvenient time was because I actually thought that they were at another Psychic Fangs, and they were going to throw the Psychic Fangs at me. So that's why I threw the Weather Ball there. And so here I am just going to take this move. This is probably a crunch, if I had to guess. It's a Psychic Fang, so maybe they have Earthquake. Regardless, it's good that they threw a Psychic Fangs instead of a crunch, which would have done neutral damage. The Psychic Fang does resist the damage. My Excadrill still has a lot of health left. And then I come into my last Pokemon against the Vigoroth. They have a Pelipper in the back. So I have two shields here, even though the opponent had a very positive lead. They had to expend two shields on the swap on their Steelix, which means that the Noctowl on the back should be able to sweep. You see there that they actually didn't go up high enough for the Hurricane. They just threw straight Weather Balls, and we will happily take the first Weather Ball. We will shield the second Weather Ball, and I am going to undercharge here because I CP tied, and I want some wing attacks. But they're actually too squishy, so I could have undercharged more and gotten some free wing attacks. But we are actually looking okay here, and the reason why is because the Excadrill in the back is going to get to a move. And a Drill Run isn't necessarily going to be enough to KO the Vigoroth from here, but you're going to see it's going to be very close. So the Excadrill gets to a move. The Vigoroth is not at a move yet, and I think they're one off from a move here. So that is a good game. You see that the Drill Run from the Excadrill just did so much damage, even though Drill Run is not necessarily a high damage move. That is an impressive amount of damage onto the somewhat bulky Vigoroth. And so here against the Shadow Abomasnow, we have a pretty good matchup. We're going to be winning CMP, and they let that go. I was expecting them to shield that because a Weather Ball from a Shadow Abomasnow would all but KO me. But they let it go, which is fantastic. That pretty much one-shots the Shadow Abomasnow. That's a lot of damage. And then they come in with a Wing Attack Mandibuzz. So I could have actually stayed in here with the Excadrill, but the reason why I switch out into my Pelipper is because Pelipper is my safe swap, which basically means I use Pelipper to bait out anything that might be strong against flying type moves in the back, because Noctowl does not have a very accessible non-flying type move. Its bread and butter move, if you will, is the Sky Attack, the charge move Sky Attack. So that's why I switch into Pelipper, is in order to bait out anti-flyers. And sure enough, they do have an anti-flyer in the back. Very cleverly, they saved it for my Noctowl. They were assuming that I had a Noctowl in the back. But luckily, they have no shields here. So I am able to just throw that Shadow Ball for big damage. The opponent sees the writing on the wall. I had two shields, and that is a game over. So good game. Next up, we have Joker Chew as our opponent, and they have a Litleo. Now, Litleo does have access to Incinerate, so that is a very powerful move. Unfortunately, it is very slow. So you see there, they throw a full Incinerate, which is 5 turns, and I get a very nice energy advantage here. I could potentially have threatened the Hurricane against the Hypno to force them to shield. Instead, I'm just going to rain down these Weather Balls, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I can double shield here versus the Hypno, and I can guarantee that I win Switch. I definitely want to win Switch here versus the Litleo at all costs, just because of the fact that Incinerate Litleo is going to do so much damage versus my Excadrill. I'm not confident in my Excadrill at all here versus the Litleo. Excadrill would outpace the Litleo, so maybe I should have stayed in. but we're going to see how this matchup plays out. This is definitely my first time facing an Incinerate Litleo, so I'm interested to see how it does. And so I believe that Litleo has access to Crunch and Flame Charge. So they come in with a Noctowl, and I am going to Weather Ball this Noctowl. I probably am going to come into my own Noctowl now to save my Pelipper with a little bit of health. This is probably not enough health to actually make it to a Weather Ball, but it's enough to threaten the Litleo quite a bit. So we are going to take that Sky Attack from the opposing Noctowl. We are going to throw our own Noctowl, Sky Attack. Our Noctowl is one of the most bulky Noctowls possible. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about different IV spreads for Noctowl, different breakpoints. But what I found is that this super bulky Noctowl just does very well because oftentimes I'm going up against another Noctowl or another wing attack user, a neutral matchup. And in neutral matchups, the bulky Noctowl usually does quite well, just because it can outbulk pretty much any opponent in the meta that uses wing attack. So next up, we have so what we did there was basically we took a move onto Noctowl. It's good that they threw a move onto Noctowl, and then we take a move onto Pelipper. And luckily, they did throw a move. We're not going to be able to reach the Weather Ball there, but it was very close. And they actually don't make it to a third move. So luckily, they basically alternate between 3 Incinerates and 2 Incinerates to reach their Flame Charge or Crunch, and they did not reach it there. They did not reach the Flame Charge because my Mudshot KO'd them, knocked them out in the same turn that they would have reached the Flame Charge. So that is a good game. Good looks right here. We are absolutely dominating the competition. We have a Hypno up against us, and Hypno is a fairly positive lead for us because we are able to outpace them to the moves. And so they actually throw a move here after just 5 confusions. And I do believe that Shadow Ball requires 6 confusions. I might be misremembering that, but anyways, I believe so. So that's why I no shield, and they do throw a Thunder Punch. So absolutely huge that they throw the Thunder Punch, and then they just let the Hypno go. So I'm assuming that they had Shadow Ball as their second move. They just decided to let it go. They have a Empoleon in the back, as well as a Noctowl. So once again, I am bringing in the Pelipper as the safe swap in order to bait out anything that's strong against flying types, and hopefully take it out with the Excadrill in the back. But they have a Noctowl, which is not necessarily too strong against flying types, but it does do a lot of damage against the Pelipper. I do reach the Weather Ball, so this is huge. This is where Wing Attack really comes in handy, is at the last minute I am able to reach this Weather Ball, whereas before the Wing Attack buff, I would not have been able to reach it. And here I am actually pretty safe. I have 2 shields. They only have 1 shield. And I can reach the second Shadow Ball before they reach their third Hydro Cannon. So there's no reason for me to no shield here. I can just double shield. There's no reason for me to bait either, because of the fact that I reached the second Shadow Ball before they reached the third Hydro Cannon. If I had baited there and they had no shielded, that would have been game over for me. So I do reach the second Shadow Ball. I am able to throw it, and that is a good game. That is not very bulky Pokemon in Empoleon. You can see there that their CP was only 1469, and I'm able to do about 55% of their health, 60% of their health with the Shadow Ball from the Noctowl into their Empoleon. So once again, this team was based on a team that was showcased by Purple Kyogre, but unfortunately, Purple Kyogre did use a Pidgeot, or I should say that the person that Purple Kyogre was showcasing used a Pidgeot instead of Noctowl in the back. And also, they had some great battles. I think that they did quite well, but I would recommend the Noctowl over the Pidgeot just from my experiences today. In addition to that, I would say Excadrill, great choice. That was a fantastic Pokemon. I'm very grateful that I powered up and double moved my extra drill for this just because of the fact that I will be able to use it going forward. I'm really excited to try out extra drill in more teams and to try out this same team again. Uh, Extra drill has a lot of play. I don't think you need a very good extra drill. You can see here that my extra drill is not the best. It only caps out at CP 1486, which it's not super high ranked. You don't need a high ranked extra drill. In fact, attack weighted extra drill can be even more deadly just because of how fast it's able to spam out those rock slides, those drill runs. Guys, I had a lot of fun using this team. If you had fun as well, if you want to try out this team, if you want to see me do more of the content creator copycat challenge, then check out my Twitch channel, check out my YouTube channel, links down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.